Welcome to a very special lock which was sent to me by Tallan Pick. Yeah, Carlos, thank you very much for sending me this wonderful lock. It was quite a challenge for me to get it picked. And that's not only because it has a very nasty keyway and 6 normal pin stacks, but also because it has 5 additional side pins. So from the bottom of the Bible you can see the shadows here. Let me see. Yeah, these shadows, they mark the end of the pin stacks for the regular pins at the place where you would expect them. And here you see 5 additional holes for the side pins. So we have 5 additional driver pins around here in the Bible, interacting with 5 additional key pins. And these metal balls, you can see one of them, interface with the additional key pins in the plug, and you need to actually pick them just as normal pins, but you have to push them to the right, of course, to get the shear line clear for the additional side pins. Yeah, maybe I can shine a light in here so that you can better see this metal ball. Yeah, here we go. You can see the first metal ball. And if you don't know that you have to deal with these side pins, it's actually, I think it's almost impossible to get this lock picked. Yeah, Carlos sent along with the lock a key that has already the bidding here for the side pins for these metal balls. And I'm not sure if there is actually a real bidding available or if they are usually cut all to the same depth. Just looks like a dimple lock key actually. Yeah, once I figured out that I have to deal with these metal balls, it's quite easy to set them all to the correct depths and clear the shear line of these additional pin stacks first before I pick the normal pins here. But as I said, if you don't know that you have to do that, it's almost impossible to get this lock picked. Yeah, it's still a very tricky pick because of the nastiness of this keyway. It's very pericentric, so you cannot just stick a pick in here and turn around this curve. That's impossible. You have to use a very thin, flexible and deep hook. As you can see here, it's a Sparrow's 15,000 deep hook, a very pointy one, because you need to individually pick the pins by inserting the hook inside the holes of the swording. And the bidding is quite drastic, so you can see the last pin here. This has to be set very, very deep. Yeah, so I will clamp it now in a vise and try to pick it, and we'll gut it and look inside. Yeah, wish me luck. Okay, so here's the lock clamped in a vise, and first I will try to get these metal balls out of the way. I apply a bit of tension here and see if I can set them just with a rake. I already felt a little turn on the plug. Yeah, I think it's good. And for getting started with this lock, I use a thicker pick. It's a Peterson deep hook. So for the first pins this works well, and for the remaining pins I have to use the thin and flexible one. So let's see. I think pin 4 is binding. Maybe not, so check again. Side pins. They appear to be binding first. Okay, so here we have a binder. pulling out the pick, I get another binder here. Okay. Really have to pick exactly in the holes of this warding. So one is binding. Okay, now two is binding. Okay, got it. So let's see. I'm on 5 or 6, and I can't get it set to the depth it needs. I can feel it, so I pull it out, and these metal balls sometimes stick out and are in the way. Okay, so I need to change to this very thin and flexible pick. Check if I can feel where I need to place it to find pin 6. Here I'm at the okay, that was the right place, and now we've got a false set. Even better false set. To find the spool is not the easiest thing. As I said, you need to here it is. Exactly find the right spot. So maybe it's set, but I lost the full set, and it's open. That was the quickest picking of this lock and all my attempts, and it was really the first attempt after my introduction. Pretty cool. So here is the plug with the 6 pin chambers, and you can already see the bidding. Very short key pins in 5 and 6, and here are the additional side pins. When I stick in the key, I think of course all the key pins will come out. Okay, let me grab a pinning tray, and then we will do a gutting. That's how these side pins look like. Yeah, goes in like this, and that's a key where the dimples are already in the key, so it's actually not very easy to insert the key here. And you can see that the shear line is clear, and now I have another key where the dimples are not yet cut. It's almost impossible to insert this key. No. Yeah, it does work. You can see they're overset. Yeah, so let's get these guys out. I put it here at 1. Okay, that's how these look like. You can see there is a bar holding most probably the metal balls in place. And these metal balls, when you push them to the right, they push against this slope, and this then pushes down the side pin very cool design. Yeah, let's continue with the gutting. Oops, here we have the first regular driver pin. That's the spring. Then we have, where is it? Here on the side. That's the driver for the, driver for the side pin. Very cool. It has a pointy tip, or the pointy part of this pin goes towards the spring, and the part with a angle cut is like so that it is making a smooth surface on the inside of this plug chamber. You can see the chambers for the regular drivers at the center, and on the side the chambers for the side pin drivers. Very, very cool. Okay, let's have a closer look to the pins in this lock. Here we can see the key pins. Very good bidding, actually. Pretty long. 1, 2, 3 is also long. 4 is long. 5 and 6 are very short, so that's a pretty good bidding. We have 2 spools in 2 and 5. The rest are standard. I don't know why we have a different type of material in 2, 3 compared to 4 and 6. Really don't know. This looks like, I don't know, maybe brass, and this looks like aluminum. Very, very interesting. Then we have the side pins. Here you can see the the drivers 1 through 5 and the key pins, so to speak, the pins and the plug that are interacting with the metal balls that you can hear, that are held in place by this little bar. Let me try to carefully pry out this bar to get access to the metal balls off camera, because I don't want to destroy it. This bar here did not come off easily, so I leave it in because I don't want to risk to damage this wonderful lock. But you can see these metal balls. They are now protruding into the keyway. When you look through the big holes here, you can see them. You can also see them here in the keyway. And when I turn it around, they are now retracted into the chambers of for the additional key pins. Yeah, it's a very interesting lock, pretty cool design, and yeah, it was great fun for me to play with this lock, to get it picked and yeah, get the right feeling for it. I probably will file this key so that it actually operates this lock. Very, very cool that I have a key that fits in this lock. Yeah, Carlos, thank you very, very much for sending me this wonderful, interesting lock. And yeah, everybody else, thank you very much for watching. Happy picking. Cheers and bye-bye. Quick addendum. First, I want to note that all the additional key pins appear to have the same length. So at least for this lock, there is no specific bidding. Second, I've repopulated the plug with all the key pins to see how different picks perform in this lock. And I told you that I had to use the thin and flexible deep hook from Sparrows to get the pin set, at least the back pins. And this is 0.4 millimeters in width. And yes, it's easily accessible here. Every pin is easily accessible, easily settable to the correct level. But then I tried the thick Peterson hook, and that's 0.8 millimeters, and I was really surprised to see how well this works. So it's theoretically also easily possible to set all the pins with a thick pick, but I was never able to pick the lock with this pick. So it's really making a big difference, at least for me, when the lock is back in working order with all the forces pushing on the key pins, the spring and the binding driver. When the plug is under tension, it makes a huge difference, at least for me. So with this pick I was able to get the back pin set, but not with this pick. But in theory it's no problem. So it feels so easy when the plug is in this state that you can set all the pins with no problems at all. So it's really a big difference, yeah, at least for me, where compared to when the lock is completely reassembled. So that's kind of shocking how easy it is to set all the pins nice and individually to the correct level, and how difficult it feels when the lock is reassembled. Well, anyhow, that's now it. Thanks for watching, happy picking, cheers and bye bye!